are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Hey, so this is your workshop?
Yes, this is my shop where I basically build and maintain all my cars. So if you look around, you can see we're building a 911. We've got few S chassis as well.
Okay, John. Before that, I would like to congratulate you.
Thank you.
For being appointed the TOYO ambassador.
Thank you very much.
So, how do you feel?
It's a great honor actually to represent Toyo tires, and you know, we've been taking part in the Toyota Gazoo racing for 3 seasons now, and now to be an ambassador for the official tire for TGR is a great honor for me, and I'm actually looking forward to race. Again, I am super happy and proud to be a Toyo ambassador, and I hope you will follow my journey with Toyo tires on my racing activities, which includes TGR and of course drifting activities, which we will do in a separate video. But again, thank you very much, and join me at Sepang for my practice session. So we've got our TGR Festival team shirts. So this year we're driving for Prima Pearl Auto, which is a Penang dealer, Toyota dealer in Penang. And of course we've got our sponsors on, Toyo Tires, Gazoo Racing, Motorsports Playground and the club. So the back is of course my logo and with the sponsors too.
I want to ask you about your logo. The
12, yes.
What is the number 12? What does it signify?
Well, I don't know. It's been my competition number for many years now.
Ah, okay.
And I don't know. I find it, you know, maybe it's my lucky number or something.
All right.
So I won a few championships with the number 12. Hence why I've adopted the number 12 as my main number. So we're gonna head off to Sepang very soon. We've got, this is our last practice session. So we got 2 sessions today, 2 p.m, 5 p.m. Basically is the final shakedown for us. The car, make sure everything's you know, set up right and ready to go for the weekend. Registration before we head out for our final practice this afternoon. Start at 2. So now due to COVID, there's a lot more SOPs that we need to follow. So like the pits are limited to 10 personnel, maximum of 3 cars. So later on they will allocate the pit to us, or we need to find an empty pit. But I'll carry on with registration. Bye. Right, let's go.
So you actually need to pay a deposit?
No, actually we're paying for track rental. So how it works now due to the current situation, right? So we actually have to do registration online to actually book our track slot. Then we come down to Sepang, so they've allocated an office in the chalet, which we have to then register ourselves and then make payment, so then we're available. Then they allocate the pits, so they say pit 16 and above. We have to see which one's free, then we can actually use the pits.
Okay, all right.
Let's go. Toyo Tires has been a proud sponsor of the TGR Festival for 3 seasons now. We're coming to season 4. So we actually started off with the T1R tires, and it's great, you know, there's consistency. So we've moved from a T1R to the TR1, which is the new tire. So a lot of the information and data which we carried over from the first 2 seasons, we carried over to season 3, and now we're into season 4. So in terms of the tires, we get 6 fresh pieces for the weekend. We can actually only start using them from official practice, so we need to have 4 fresh tires which will be marked starting from qualifying, and basically we have 6 tires to play with throughout the whole weekend. So 4 pieces we use for qualifying, we carry over to race 1, and you basically have 2 spare tires. It depends how you want to. Some teams use it in race 1, some uses it in race 2. So it really depends on the condition, whether it's raining, dry, street circuit or Sepang Circuit. So we are here at Sepang Circuit. This is actually going to be my first actual TGR race at Sepang. So we were supposed to have a round at Sepang for the finale for season 3, but due to COVID that was cancelled. So that's why we're here. We're trying to collect as much data information as possible, so that we have a great racing weekend.
For today's practice, open practice, I noticed there are 2 sets of extra tires, 2 pieces. So is it part of the 6 pieces you are getting?
No, not really. So basically the 4 pieces which we have, they are considered unmarked, so they are unofficial tires. So basically the set that we got on the car is basically the set that was delivered with the car. We're just using that for testing. It's the same actual tire. The only difference is it's not marked, officially marked, and how do you say, approved to be raced for this weekend. So we basically use it for testing, open practice, official practice. But when it comes down to qualifying, we have to use the 6 pieces that's provided to us. Okay, so let me introduce our race car which we'll be racing this weekend. And basically the car has been built and prepared by Toyota. So actually there's not much we can do in terms of setup, but let me take you through and show you what it's all about. So we'll start off with the engine bay. So in terms of powertrain, which is the engine and transmission, it remains a standard production unit. Some slight modifications, so we have a full exhaust system, some tweaks to the intake manifold, and there's a limited slip differential in the transmission. All this is for performance purposes, but other than that, it's still standard production. To maintain consistency among all competitors, the engine actually has been sealed. So we have, I think, a total of about 6 seals, you can see. So basically what they've done is they sealed the engine, the top, the bottom and the transmission, so that we are not allowed or do not have the opportunity to actually tinker with the engine without notifying the technical department. So if we have to rebuild the engine and stuff like that, then we can do it. We have to cut out the seals, but we have to bring it back to the technical partners, which is Wing Hin, for them to inspect before they reseal it. So let's go into the interior and I'll give you an update on what's different. So if you look at the interior, it's bare minimum. So all the soundproofing, the seats, everything has been gutted. This is to reduce the weight of the car, to improve the overall performance. We still maintain some basic controls that's needed for driving. So the Vios, for example, comes with a 5-speed manual. It is a standard transmission, as I mentioned, just with the LSD installed. Then we have a sport steering wheel. We have a racing bucket seat. So all this is actually for safety, which includes the 6-point roll cage which we have in the car. All this is for driver safety. In case of an accident, the driver is locked intact in his seat in whatever the situation is. Last but not least, of course, is the fire extinguisher. So that is ignited through the button. If we are in any situation, if there's a fire in the car, all we need to do is hit the switch and the fire extinguisher will go off. And then we have electrical cut-off switch, which is important just in case if the engine is still running after an accident, then we actually just flip a switch and everything's cut off. So this is important in terms of safety when it comes down to racing. one of the most important area in the TGR race car is actually the wheel, tire, brakes and suspension package. So all this has been upgraded because in racing we are actually driving 100 to 110% to actually get all the performance out of the race car. So the brake pads have been changed. You have a new wheel which is a 15-inch, and of course together with a Toyota tires TR1 tire, 195 50/15 in terms of size. So everyone actually runs the same tire throughout the weekend. It's actually important for us to set up the suspension, so it comes with coilover suspension where we can actually adjust the ride height, we can do preloads, and all this is to actually manage tire wear and tire performance throughout the race. Alright, so we're done with our practice today. I think I'm happy with what we have achieved, and we set out some parameters and did some setup changes on the car, preparing for this weekend's event, and I'm actually really happy with the consistency. So I think we've got a good setup for the weekend. The tires are consistent throughout the 10-15 laps which I did. Lap time seemed pretty consistent and quick as well. So overall I think we've got a pretty good setup ready for the race this weekend. And what can I say, I mean the TR1s performed as usual, coming from season 3 and straight into season 4, now 1 year, and the tires do feel great in terms of overall grip. So it's not overtired, it's just nice, and that makes the Vios really lively around the track, at the same time giving the consistency and of course the lap time. So I'm really happy with it and looking forward to the race this weekend.
TOYO tires.